An official video from the Rise of Kingdoms channel came out around 3 hours ago, and that video gave us some major insights into the Greek civilization, the new KVK, the Greek commanders that are coming out. It also gave us some more insights into the transmutation and swapping stats, so it's going to be a really interesting video because it does answer pretty much every question people have been looking for, and if you are interested in what's coming in the newest update to best prepare yourself, you might as well check out today's video. So we'll begin with going over the Greek civilization as itself, and I'll switch over to the video now. As you can see, they're wearing some Greek attire to fit the theme of the event, but for the most part, here's what the Greek stats will look like. To begin with, they have a 5% infantry health, a rally damage army bonus of 5%, that is an all damage bonus, and then also a stone gathering speed of 10%. The stone is definitely the worst part here, since stone is completely useless for infantry, since infantry mains don't need as much stone, since they use only wood and food, but for the most part, the stats on this civilization are really good for a rally. Getting health and then rally damage is actually really good, and it does seem that we were right, it would be a rally civilization, though this actually isn't too terrible for the open field, so if you are a rally main, you can still expect to trade fairly decently on the field, even if you are using infantry. The stone gathering, though, like I said, does give him a little bit of downer, and it's probably better to run Vikings or even France over the Greek civilization for open field, but for the most part, if you're rallying, this is a killer civilization. The special units, as shown on the right side of the screen, are going to be the Argoraspidi. These are, oddly enough, Macedonian troops, so I guess that the ad was showing which troops were coming. It wasn't a mistake, it was completely deliberate. I don't know actually why they went for Macedonian troops for the Greek civilization, however, I could be wrong and they could not be Macedonian, but what I googled, it looks like Argoraspidi troops are Macedonian. As for the troops' stats, they are fairly stock standard, to be honest. You can get a peek of them here. The T4 versions get an increase in base attack and an increase in base health. Keeping in mind that is base stats, so it gets the civilization bonus on top of that. The T4 versions are actually really good, getting the attack. Well, I mean, the attack's not as good, but the health is a really nice buff. T5 units get base attack and base defense, so T5s are definitely less valuable than the T4 units, but if you're running T4, oddly enough, this civilization is fairly good for open fielding, just because the T4 stats are so good. We then got a sneak peek at Pericles and Pyrrhus, I'm pretty sure that's how you say his name. Pericles being the epic infantry commander, he is probably the cooler of the two in my opinion, the looks, but his skills, as you can see, they're honestly underwhelming when I looked at them the first time. First of all, he gets an active skill boost of 1000 direct damage factor as a shield, so he's not dealing any damage. This is only 700 if he is not expertise, and then the shield also increases the amount of healing he receives, completely useless, and then march speed of his infantry units by 20%. So, honestly, the active skill is heavily underwhelming. The shield is pretty good for an epic commander, but after that, it's kind of useless, the stuff that he's getting. Yeah, he's getting healing speed, I guess that's okay if you really want to use like barbarian hunting, and yeah, he's getting march speed, I guess that's alright as well, but for the most part, his active skill is very underwhelming, and the shield is only 3 seconds. If it was maybe 5, then I'd say, oh, that's very good, but for the most part, 3 seconds is quite short, and I think that is a very underwhelming active skill. His second skill is just stock standard, 10% attack, 10% defense. Most commanders that are epic run around 20% stats. Then he has a garrison skill. While he's garrisoned, so that would mean a flag, fort, pass, any of that, or in your city, he gains a 10% damage bonus. So, nice bonus there for garrisons, but no one really garrisons with epic commanders past like KVK, maybe borderline KVK 1 for a city garrison. Flags in KVK 1, you'd never garrison with epic commanders. His third skill, whenever he receives a normal attack from an enemy troop, he has a 10% chance to reduce the attacking troop's normal attack by 30% for 3 seconds. That is honestly a fairly decent debuff. It's not increasing his own normal attack resistance, however making the enemies that he is fighting a little bit weaker, so that is definitely nice, and the debuff does last quite a bit considering that it is only a 5-second cooldown and not a 10-second cooldown. This is probably the star thing in his kit, but even then, it's nothing that shocking that I'm like, wow, Pericles is going to be the new, basically, meta commander. I guess it kind of makes sense. He wasn't really offensive in history. He was more of a politician, laid-back kind of guy, so this does make sense, his skills and how they're set up and the way you're going to play him. But it doesn't look too amazing. If I were to say best pair, probably just Sun Tzu because he is fairly tanky and he does have a little bit of march speed, but for the most part, I'd say he's not going to be a game-changing commander. His expertise is just an improvement on his active skill, increasing the shield factor by 300 and adding that completely useless healing effect. Then the commander Piers was the next one they discussed, and he is the legendary commander, and when I saw his skills, he actually looks pretty strong, to be honest. First of all, he deals direct damage to the target troop of 1,400, which is actually pretty good for a legendary gold key commander. It's pretty much standard with what most commanders will do. And then also, he increases his normal attack by 20% for 3 seconds. Really nice buff there. I think that's actually quite strong. Then he gains a 10% increase in health, which is very decent, and 15% increase in march speed. Once again, that is also quite strong. Then while outside of Alliance territory, he also deals 20% more normal attack. That's going to apply in Sunset Canyon, and that will apply in game modes such as Champions of Olympia and Dark of Osiris. So that is a very, very good third skill. His fourth skill, once again a field skill, increases his attack by 20% while on the map. So resource nodes and cities, this won't work. And whenever he does a normal attack, he has a 10% chance to trigger a shield, damage factor 500 for 3 seconds. Once again, that's a really good skill, especially for a gold key commander. Then his final skill besides his expertise, he just takes a straight 20% less skill damage. Once again, that is really good. And then if he has an active shield, 10% more damage. Honestly, I think he might be the new best gold key commander, like overall for infantry. Though we will have to see what his relic is like. But for the most part, this skill is extremely good. Like, all of his skills are field related. Nothing there is wasted. He's getting a lot of fairly decent stats. He does seem in some ways like Thutmose, where he's a very all-round commander, but nothing too stand out. I guess he's fairly tanky. That could be his thing. I think him plus Charles Martel, Pyrrhus plus Charles Martel, Pyrrhus plus YSG are definitely going to be some pretty good options. Him with Sun Tzu might become the new meta over Charles Martel. So I think that Pyrrhus actually is looking extremely strong. Then his final skill is expertise. Whenever he's hit with a normal attack, 10% chance to reduce the attacking troop's attack by 30% for 3 seconds. Cooldown 8 seconds. Very similar to Pericles' basically skill. However, this is only on his expertise, and it isn't the normal attack reduction. It's just a straight base attack reduction. Then you will notice on the left side there are 2 legendary constants. There is not going to be a constant prime. It's just the default that they use whenever they're working on a new legendary commander. If you knew when Boudica Prime and Henry were releasing, there was a picture of Dragon Lancer and City Keeper basically as legendaries with a little, one of them had a little Prime logo. It doesn't really tell us much, it just means that they are working on the new commanders. We then get a nice look at the event series that is coming. We know that Tempest Clash was going to be there. Sign-in spoils, Alliance quiz, and music of the Muses. We will know what that is in about a second. First of all, sign-in spoils, log in for 7 days, you get Pyrrhus for free. So that is really, really good for newer players. You also do get 10 Pericles heads, and at day 2 you get a civilization change. Those are definitely the main rewards. The gems are nice as well, but the civilization change, the legendary commander, and the 10 epic Pericles heads are probably the best of the best rewards, especially civilization change. For me personally, that's going to be the most valuable reward. Then just the typical do basic quests, get yourself a bunch of epic commander sculptures. We've seen this before. And then also the Aglian Bloom. This is basically the other option of the 7k gem event. Sometimes they do the 7,000 gem event. Sometimes they do an event like this where there's one premium currency and then there's also a non-premium currency which you can get from killing barbarians. Often this event allows you to buy a city skin, which you can see here, and they will show the city skin in a minute, and also gold heads and materials and stuff like that. There is usually also access to a full accessory blueprint, so this would usually be a Silent Trail or a Delane's Amulet for most players. For, I think it's 80 of the premium currency, and then 100 of the non-premium currency, which is definitely good value. And even the gold heads in this event are good value, costing 1,000 gems per gold head. Then we have a look at the city skin, and this is a really good cav skin, and it looks freaking cool, the city skin. Look at that skin. Now for the stats, you get 5% cav health at the cost of 5% archer attack. If you're a cav main, that is on par with some of the best city skins you could have access to. Here's a look at the city skin at night. Once again, it's a really cool city skin. Then the Music and Muses event. Upload art, music, or other creative works that include both the theme of Greece and Rise of Kingdoms for a chance to earn awesome merch and other fantastic rewards. View the community page for specific detail. Basically, they've done this event before. You can draw something, you can make something online, you can commission someone to make something maybe. And if it has Rise of Kingdoms related content and also a Greek theme from basically Rise of Kingdoms, you'll have a chance at winning what they said would be a Leonidas sculpture. I'm not really sure what that's going to look like. Here's what they basically showed. I doubt it's going to look like this. But it's something that you could receive if you are into art. That's something you could definitely look at. We then get a look at the new KVK, the Storm of the Stratagems, and we get a look at the rewards. We know the free team up, which is basically the matchmaking. So you go off your classes and get put together. Every kingdom is split in classes from S, A, B, C, and D based on your power, basically based on your seed. There isn't too much crazy on the actual rules. We do get a peek at the stratagems here, and in this story you can choose from 5 stratagem folios and 3 categories of stratagems. Mix and match them to suit your personal playstyle. You also get access to stratagem points, and these are used to change your equipped stratagems that can be earned through Bastion quests, so that is very free to play, and good thing they did that. We also get a look at the stratagems, and these are the stratagems themselves. But the way that these work is you get to pick a folio. First of all, you get the beginner's folio. Everyone gets this at the start of the KVK. The first step on the path to stratagem mastery contains a balanced setup, so basically you get to try out a bunch of stratagem combinations. Then in the strategist folio, this is a poorly defended lane. This is basically the fighting folio. Extra slots for leadership stratagems, which are usually what the fighting will be. You can see by the color which slots will be which. And then also, these are basically people who want to go offensive. So this looks like the open field stratagem. Then you've also got the provisioners. This is just the gathering stratagem, is basically what that looks like. And then the battle masters folio. This gives you 2 leadership and also 2 of the red ones, which I think is battle, or maybe the purple one's the battle one. Basically, know thy enemy, know thyself. The battle master folio is even more slots for leadership and warfare. The purple is the warfare one, making it perfect for intense large-scale battles. So this may be the actual open field one. And then the guardians folio. Wars are won by logistics, not valor. The guardians folio has a ton of support, so this seems like basically buffs for your own troops, making it perfect to navigate complex late-season battles. Not sure what that means, but that's complex late-season battles. We also get a look here of changing stratagems and folios. First of all, different stratagems have different numbers and types of slots. We know that. Universal slots can be equipped with any type of stratagem, so all stratagems seem to they come with at least 1 universal slot. You can change your equipped stratagem and stratagem folio for free once every 70 hours. Very oddly specific there, but make sure you are looking into doing that before a pass opens. Seems like 1 folio, 1 stratagem for all your commanders. There is no putting multiple stratagems and folios on multiple commanders. It's just 1 for all, so keep that in mind. And then also, while waiting for your free stratagem change to reset, you can also use stratagem points to change your equipped stratagems/stratagem folio up to 2 times. We also get a quick snippet of one of the buffs you're going to get, Decisive Battle. Whenever one of your rallied or garrison troops is in combat with an enemy troop, both your troop and the enemy will deal 1% more damage to each other after every 20 seconds of combat, up to 100%. This effect will reset if your troop switches targets. Very strange as to why you'd be buffing a rally or a garrison. I actually don't know why they do this. I mean, unique, I guess. Definitely interesting and something that's going to be pretty cool. So they equip this, and then they also go to the warfare tree and they choose common foe. We know that this is going to give us, whenever one of your troops buffs another troops, you gain a shield factor 700 for 5 seconds. Each of your troops can trigger this effect once every 10 seconds. There are actually a lot of different stratagems here. And then also we have a bunch of other stratagems here. First, we got Kind-Hearted that really stands out. This seems like a hospital buff, which you can use to either reduce speed of your hospital or reduce resources. And Makeshift Splints seems like the same thing as Kind-Hearted. You've also got One Heart, One Mind. All these seem like different things. You've got damage buffs, bigger rallies, so possibly stronger rallies. Accolades, I'm not sure what that could be. That could be extra rewards. That's probably more rewards from your Kaha. Overtime pay is probably more rewards from your Bastions. And then Resourceful is just more resources from gathering. That's my presumption. Overtime is actually 1 extra Bastion quest per day, which is very, very good, to be honest. And then Universal, you can pick any of the things that were just shown. Other than that, they also show the Alliance Arrow Towers, and they talk about the counter rallies, but we already know pretty much the gist of that. Then they show us the armament transmutation, which is what I'm most excited for, because this is what's going to make armaments great again, or at least make them great for the first time. You can see they first showed off the locking of armaments. If you have nothing locked, it's going to cost you 1 transmutation stone. With 1 thing locked, it's going to cost you 3 transmutation stones. And with 2 parts of this armament locked, it's going to cost you 5 transmutation stones. You get a max of 10 transmutations. We then get a look at the shop, and all I can say is, yeah, baby. They didn't make this a complete pay-to-win mission. If you have an inscribed legendary armament, you can refresh it with transmutation stones. Lilith, thank you. This is really cheap. 30 of these silver coins per transmutation stone honestly is way better than them using gold coins or making it cost gems or resources. This is very, very smart. If you have any epic armaments you're not using, just offload them, because you'll be able to transmutate, which means replace all your epic armaments with your legendary armaments, as you can change the stats on them. So honestly, this is the best thing Lilith could have done, making them very accessible. Yes, it's limited to 15 per week, which if you're blocking off 2 stats on armament, that's only 3 rerolls per week. But honestly, it's better than nothing. Before, it was, if you got trash, it's staying trash forever. But now, if you're a free-to-play, low spender, medium spender, no matter what you are, you still have access to this feature, and you can reroll your armaments, making them better, and that's the hope at least. We also get a look at them transmutating this already really good armament, but they transmutate it, and you can see that they got siege unit health, and they could decide to just not change the attribute or replace it. If they tap replace, they accept the new one, and this will overwrite whichever slot you got rid of before. Yes, they just swapped all damage for siege health on an infantry armament, but oh well, that is basically just for the show. Also, you get a quick look at the rules here. I'm not going to read it because it's basically what I just mentioned. And then the final thing they discuss is just the content creator program. They basically said that their content creator program, which before didn't include Rise of Kingdoms, will now include Rise of Kingdoms. So if you're interested in becoming a Rise of Kingdoms content creator, they have all that linked on their video and you can go check that out. So what are my overall opinions on this update? And if you didn't get the vibe from basically the way I was speaking, good job, Lilith. That's the vibe. The civilization looks cool. It looks great. Yes, Pericles doesn't seem too OP, but I guess it's just because the epic infantry already are pretty stacked. The legendary infantry commander looks really interesting and really powerful. The events look fun. There's an event that's basically going to be there for every type of player. You can send art to Lilith, for God's sake, to get free stuff. So, honestly, great job. The transmutations are great. The KVK looks extremely fun. It looks balanced from what I can see so far. There is not much pay-to-win aspect to the actual KVK, so I am excited for this update. And I want to know your opinions as well. So in the pinned comment and in the description, there will be a link to my Discord server where you can chat with me and tell me your opinions on this update. If there's something you think that I maybe overhyped too much that you think is definitely kind of rubbish or something Lilith did wrong, let me know in the Archer Syndicate Discord by joining through the link in the pinned comment or in the description. Now, I just want to say thank you for watching and hope to see you in the next one.